Hello, we are having a conversation with artist Jamie Thome today. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for being a part of this interesting moment in history.
Well,
As
thank you
you know,
for instilling all the art stuff around Evanston.
as we are trying to virtually connect all of the artists in this group show, of which there are almost 95, with
Holy
the
cow.
world. Holy cow, I know. So we're doing all of these interviews sort of as an effort to really make sure that people meet the artists behind the art. So thank you for adding this layer of engagement.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So for the audience who's listening intently, we do ask everybody the same group of questions, and we're looking to just, have a little dialogue. So first and foremost, what piece of art or multiple pieces of art are in the group show by you?
So I have the one piece in the group show, which is a piece that I did at the beginning of the shelter in place. It's a collage. I had pulled out a bunch of watercolors and collages that I had started and never finished, as well as other watercolors and collages that I thought at one point they were finished, but I just wanted to add another layer. And so the one that's in the show is one of those that I redid with a found poem sort of about sheltering in place and being together apart and that sort of thing. And it's actually currently can be seen live and in person and not just online. It's at Evanston Eye Wellness as part of the Evanston Windows.
Evanston Art Connects window installation. Evanston Art Wellness is on Main.
Yeah, it's on Main next to Goods. Nice. Rest in peace. But yes, it's on Main.
These are such time capsules because, right, Goods just announced it's closing after 117 years.
Right. But it's right next to that, and it's one of the collages that it's in a black frame with a white mat, and that's in the actual group show. And then I have a whole bunch of COVID collages that are in the pop-up as well, that are redoings of old work made new.
And it looks as though on your Instagram feed, you've been sharing a lot of process videos. It looks like right now you're working on many things. What's happening in your studio?
Yeah, so in normal times, I have so many jobs that take me away from home, and my schedule is so regimented and has to be, because it's like you're going to this school and then you're going to the library and then you're doing this. So I usually don't have as much time to work. I have to schedule it to make stuff. And so now for the first couple of weeks, I was wandering around, and then I would go over to the desk. It's in my front windows, and just make something and then wander around aimlessly. So I've been doing those COVID collage things. I don't really want to call them that, but just layering collages, layering words on the tree outside of our place. And then one project, I'm making a bunch of artist books, but one project, a friend of mine that I've had for 30 years, we met in college back in the day. Wow, 30 years ago. And he sent me some writing. He's a novelist and a book artist as well, and asked if we could collaborate. And then he sent me some collages and images, and so I've been layering those in a book and adding to it as we move along. And that's taking, I'll do something real fast in there, and then I'll take a couple days, and I'll be like, I have to think about this, because I want to sort of honor the friendship and the work that he sent me. So
that's so beautiful. And is that a reflection also of just how your practice has differed since shelter in, like you mentioned?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. I'm answering both questions.
Well, no.
Yes.
No, but I remember talking to you at the top of this, and you were like, I don't always have time, and I don't
Right.
Are you collaborating more than you normally would? Or
It's just mostly with him, although I did want the tree to be more of a collaborative conversation with people outside of our house. Who would layer things on, and a couple people that have added words as these weeks have gone on, but not necessarily as many as I wanted or would like to continue. I don't know how to answer that. I guess collaboration, more or less, same.
You've also been collaborating though artistically in different ways. Like you started the Artist Book House interview series.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been producing a bunch of content.
Right, correct. Producing content for Artist Book House. At the beginning of April, I attended, a friend of mine was doing a Zoom conversation with Museum of Contemporary Photography down in Chicago, and he's a photographer, and it was amazing. And they did sort of this online studio visit, and I thought, well, why not do more of those? And so with Artist Book House, we started doing our quarantine tours, and we started with Ben Blunt, and it just has gone every week since then, and it's been really enjoyable and a lot more work on our editors than me, because I just usually get to talk to somebody for an hour and however long. I don't have to do the editing, but it's been a lot of fun and a lot of inspiration from that.
I feel like it's been so nice to connect with people. Like I love watching your interviews because I miss eyeballs and I miss people's voices. And I'm really grateful I'm grateful for Shelter In, because I also feel like there's a lot of art that people thought was done or that they couldn't get to. And suddenly there's this like outpouring of productivity.
Right. In an odd sort of layered meta way. Yeah. Because that's one of the things I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 6 o'clock. I have to just put my phone on and listen while I'm doing dishes or getting dinner ready or whatever, especially on Thursdays to Lisa D on the Instagram, because Thursdays
Nora.
Oh my God, that is like the highlight of the entire week as far as like
love her. She's
gathering just gorgeous music, and I had not ever heard her before, and it's just wonderful to connect with people this way, even though of course we miss giving hugs and seeing people in person.
Yeah, and that's also what's been so fun, I think, about your quarantine tours too, is like you get to have these like very just connections in a way that we didn't used to make time for. I mean, it's a really like, this feels like such a nice time capsule to do these interviews on Zoom.
Right. It's a lot of fun and a lot of, like you said, time capsule
work. Okay, so you are a person who wears a million hats and works all over the place and is super engaged with humans. How are you doing without human connection? Is this suffice?
This is not sufficient in any way, but it's sort of a Band-Aid, I guess. I do have wine Zooms. I do have my family Zooms, so those are good. And I have we have board meeting Zooms, and on Thursdays it's a stacked Zoom day for me, so I kind of get tired and then just kind of don't want to do anything on Fridays. But I miss person to person hanging out. I miss hugs. I'm a hugger, and I miss squeezing those babies, and just I just miss that part of it. And my baby is taller than me, and he's huggable, but he's just not as chunky, and
I don't know. Really not going to hug back.
Right.
So then let's go all the way backwards to, without talking too long about your whole practice, because I know you have been a maker, a productive maker your whole life. You have managed artist-run spaces. You have always been an artist, but how did you first become one? At what crystallization moment were you like, oh, I can self-identify as an artist?
I honestly don't know. I just always was there. I said when I wrote out the answers to the questions that you sent, I sort of referred to this memory my dad always talks about, which I don't remember it at all, but we were at a baseball game at the Royals, and it was my first baseball game live, and it was on a rain delay, pouring down rain, so they stopped the game, and apparently my dad was just worried that I was missing out on my first baseball game, my first experience with the Royals live. And I had one of those umbrellas, remember, that came down like this and was clear, and you could just put it over your head and walk around. And he remembers apologizing to me and saying, "I'm so sorry, Jamie, your first baseball game is ruined." And I was like, "What do you mean it's ruined? I'm just having fun watching the rain go down my umbrella. And he says that's when he knew I was an artist.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, I can't remember. I remember elementary school just always being the one that everybody said my artwork was the best out of the class, that sort of thing. And just making stuff, like, I just remember it.
And possibly other people recognizing the artist in you right before you were claiming.
Right, right. And just not coming to the conclusion of my identity. It just was there.
It was just
if that makes sense.
That's so beautiful. Thank you. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then last question, who are your inspirations? And it can be like current day, who's inspiring you? It can be.
Right. So I love all of these dead women artists, like Candy Jernigan, and then Eva Hess, and Louise, what's her name? The big thingies. And did I say Eva Hess and Agnes Martin? They're all dead, but I love their work. And current days right now, in person and local, Melissa Blunt just blows me out of the water every time I talk to her and every time I see her work. So I am so excited that she's gotten to the point where she's recognizing her visual artist talent and writer talent, and that we get to watch it and talk about it with her. Who else? Oh my gosh, I think I said kids on the answer as well. I love watching kids make art and do art and talk about art and look at art. Kids inspire me all the time.
Because they're so
wide open, and they're so not judging themselves, judging the work, judging each other when they're younger. And then as they get older and then they self-identify as artists, even if they don't, it's like somebody will say, oh, Mrs. Thome, is this right? And show me their picture. And I'm like, I don't know, you'll have to ask the artist. And then they're like, what? That's me. So I love that. And just the excitement that happens there. It's inspiring. Because I often will edit myself and judge myself way harsher
than anybody else.
And I will just, like, there are things that I'll be making and I'll just be like, I'm making this, and then I judge it, and then I'm like, no, I need to not make that. So I don't like that part of that.
Or that moment where you go, why am I even doing this? Why am I even worthy of the time that I'm putting in this? It's like,
right, exactly. And then like 10 years later, I'll pull it out and redo something on it and then put it out to the world because I don't care anymore. So
I'm so glad. I'm so happy that you're in this community, because I feel like I have learned so much about community building through the arts through you. Like even just your art practice, but you're so good at like connecting people and connecting projects over long periods of time. Like I'm very glad a lot of people have moved to this community, but mostly I'm so glad that I got to meet you and watch you work, because it's so inspiring.
Oh, that's so nice to hear from you, Lisa D.
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you for being in this show and jumping into virtual with such enthusiasm also, because it's been fun doing it with people who are willing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you for putting it all together. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Thank you, Jamie Thome. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Okay. Yay.